On today's episode, we discuss private banking, the future of retail, junior achievement, cycle bar, and fortune cookie predictions.
Some of the biggest impacts in a community happen at the local level. We'll dive deep into the challenges local businesses face, their biggest achievements, and what they're doing to make a positive impact in their local community. It's time to get the word out right here on the Johnny Miller Audio Experience, powered by Veracity Storage. Now, welcome your host, the man himself, Johnny Miller.
Welcome, ladies and gents. This is Johnny Miller, and you're listening to the Johnny Miller Audio Experience, powered by Veracity Storage, Episode 9. Our guest today is a dedicated and driven private banker with years of financial, real estate, and management experience. Her focus is to ensure each client receives timely and exceptional customer service. She's also looking to provide a personal approach to each client's specific needs and wants while helping them reach their financial goals. Our guest today, a current private banker at Bremer Bank, Bri Clemenson. Bri, welcome.
Hey.
How's it going?
Fabulous. How are you?
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Cool. Well, we start every podcast out with a segment called the Drink of the Day. I know you walked in and you just saw like a crap load of drinks here, and you're just
oh my
what's
God,
going
what
on?
is this?
So the great thing is it's after 2 o'clock, so we can go any route actually. So I have anything from Diet Coke, Diet Mountain Dew. I have Starbucks drinks, energy drinks, water. I have, I think I have sparkling water. I even have some Grey Goose vodka if you ever done Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew vodkas. Oh, and I think I even have like Busch Light in there. So the deal is you pick a drink and we share it.
Okay,
basically. I'm
going to live on the edge today and do a Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah,
awesome.
I know.
Sweet. Here you go.
Sweet.
You have to crack that. So awesome. So while we open these up, for the handful of people who don't kind of know what you do, I know you kind of just got into private banking and stuff like that. Why don't you just give us a little bit of background about yourself, how you got into industry? You can go all the way back to elementary if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been born and raised in West Fargo. Graduated from West Fargo High School.
Oh, another Packer. Guess
Yeah.
what? You're the third guest that
Am I
graduated
really?
from West Fargo.
Oh, I won't say what year. We'll just leave that because you called me 22.
Bri, come
so
on.
that was nice. We'll
Right?
just leave it at that.
I'm a charming host, what can I say?
So yeah, born and raised West Fargo. My parents still live in the house that I grew up in. I'm an only child, so
Only child, interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm not spoiled.
Really?
No, I actually like to work really, really hard.
How is that as an only child? Obviously, you wouldn't know the differences if you didn't have a bunch of brothers and sisters, but...
No, but I do feel like it's helped me learn how to build relationships because
Sure.
when you're an only child, you're kind of forced to make friends, and the only way to
Right.
do that is by going out and talking to people and kind of getting a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, right? That makes sense.
so I
a little
feel like
more
I've-
outgoing.
Yeah, I've circled back around to that a little bit. But I went to college in Moorhead. And
MSUM or what?
I went to the tech school there.
Oh, tech school.
I did. And
What
you know-
would you major in?
marketing and management. And I got a really good job fresh out of college, working 60 hours a week, which not many 20-year-olds do. But that was my jam. I enjoyed to work. And I went on the retail train for 10 years.
Really?
And that train had to come to an end at some point.
So did some of that marketing and that background like help in the retail? What were you doing, direct like sales, or what were you doing in retail?
So I started just being, a part-time retail sales associate while I was going to college, working 3 jobs. And I found that I really liked the retail part of it. And it wasn't so much the retail part as the people part that
Right.
really got me. I loved going to work every day being different. Helping people was
Right.
what I enjoyed the most about it. And I worked my way through like a manager in training program. I became an assistant manager. And by the time I was 22, I was running my own store and had 75 employees underneath me.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was kind of a baptism by fire for me into the
I think
the
a lot of
working
industries are
world.
like that too.
But it was probably the hardest and greatest years of my life.
Awesome.
I wouldn't change them for anything. I made some great relationships. And
Well, then you certainly can in retail. You certainly can network as well. It's all about the relationships and
Absolutely.
basically any industry you get in. I mean, be it banking, being at retail. I mean, even us here with self storage, networking and building those relationships is huge.
it's key to everything. And I feel like, especially in Fargo, we're a big town, basically,
Right.
or a small city, however you want to look at
Right.
it. Everybody's 1 degree of separation.
That's for sure. I mean, I think that's what's so unique about Fargo as well. Like everybody, like in certain industries. Well, I come from a banking background as well, which you probably
Yeah.
didn't know that. I actually worked for Bank of the West for 7 years. I did everything. Like I literally out of college, similar situation. I right out of college, I had a human performance and fitness major, and I minored in business. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to get into, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I just need a job. Like I
Yes.
need a job, and I need to pay my bills. So I got a job at Bank of the West, literally at their call center, literally just answering calls and
Yeah.
being like helping customers. Then I went up. I did. I got promoted to like a team lead. Then I went into the branch, and I was a individual banker, not like a private banker like you, but in the branch area. Then I did home equity loans, a little bit of everything for like
Yeah.
7 years. And you just never really know what field you're going to get into right when you come out of college. So
No.
it's pretty interesting that way.
Yeah, I felt like the marketing and management was specific yet general. There was so many different things I could
Right.
do with it, and that was just going to be a nice background for me to at least have a degree, go to school for something.
Yeah, anything related to business and
Yeah.
marketing and management certainly helps. So you started doing the retail stuff, and how long did you do that for?
So I did that for about 10 years and then decided that I needed a change. I needed something more structured and a little bit more safe because due to technology and, Amazon and the whole online web scenario,
Right?
the retail stores started to slump, and I could see that coming, and that kind of scared me a little bit being in retail management.
We've talked about a couple instances like this on a couple of the other podcasts, like the retail. How I think like last year was the first time where online sales surpassed like the total amount of retail sales, especially over the holidays. Amazon, like you said, is just, man, they're taking over.
Right.
And they're heavily invested in, investing in artificial intelligence and trying to get really fast about, same day deliveries. And there'll be a point too, we've talked about this with another guest, where they'll get to a point where they'll have like each customer like profiled so well that they'll just, if you're like say you're into shoes, right? They'll literally just have a pair of shoes on your doorstep, and it'll be like, Bri, if you like these shoes, keep it. We'll charge
Yes.
your account. If not, leave them on the doorstep and we'll send it back.
Right.
So can you imagine Americans as hyper consumers? Like, honestly, if they profiled me, like I'm a huge golfer, right?
Yeah.
There's golf. If they gave me logo or golf balls with like my name on it, and they
Yes.
dropped them at my doorstep for $50 a dozen, I'm like, I need golf balls eventually. I'm going to take them.
Right.
Like it's going to be, and I think a lot of retail is going to go like that, especially like when you can do like same day deliveries, or
Yes.
I mean, maybe within even hours if you're in like a bigger city.
Right.
There'll always be things where like people want to see furniture, and there'll always be a little bit of like the retail, but it's going to be really scary for malls in like
Yeah.
the next 10 years. Like
Absolutely.
malls, like it'll be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but with you having like a retail background, you could kind of see that coming.
Yeah, for sure. I saw it coming, being in retail for like 10 years. It was, when I started, it was booming. You couldn't even park in the mall parking lot anytime from like July until February.
Right.
Because it was always so busy, back to school and the holidays and so forth. And as the years went on, it just kind of slowed down, and you saw everybody hearing about 24-hour delivery. Just buy it online. You don't like it, you can ship it back.
Yeah.
And everybody's going, oh my gosh, I don't have to stand in line. I don't have to brave the cold.
Right.
It's a win for the consumer.
For sure.
But when you're in the stores working, as we've
know.
seen, it can make for a long
Right.
day.
I think I just read like it might be Kohl's or someone else. I'm not sure if it's Kohl's. I think it is though. They literally are going to start taking Amazon returns. So like if
Yes.
you bought a Kohl's product basically from Amazon, you can return it at their store, that's a no-brainer for them, because
Right.
even if they do the in-store credit, then someone's going to use that credit, plus they'll probably buy more stuff in the
Yes.
store. So that totally makes sense.
but
I
it's at
think
least getting them back in the
into
store,
That's the big thing.
which is huge. If
Right.
more retailers did that,
Right.
maybe there would be a little bit more hope for some of them.
So what's
hard
that?
to
Maybe
say.
you know this. What's that store that's moving into the mall? That's it's like a big furniture store. Did you hear about that? So basically, where
furniture
Herberger's was,
Yeah.
It's some wholesale. It's literally like it's called home. Is it called At Home or something? I don't know. Is that a
really?
store? Yeah, something about At Home where they're like one of the what they were saying in the paper is they're one of the most successful non-internet selling like stores. Like they don't have like online
Oh my gosh.
But I guess they just crush it. Like they're open. They're like one of the only retails that are progressively like opening stores throughout the United States
And non-web based.
Yeah, so you basically go in there, and I'm thinking it's just like furniture and at-home decor, which that kind of makes sense because if you have your house and you want to see things to like set up your home before you buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially more on the female-oriented side, like a guy, they're just gonna pick up stuff. They don't care. Like,
whatever you want, honey.
Right, right. So, but I mean, and then there's still probably a market for, like girls getting away or girls day out with another, with the ladies and they just go shopping. Like you still need that, right?
Yes.
So there's going to be a little balance, but in general, retail, I mean, you see it all the time. Look at all these big box stores that are closing. I mean, from everything. You're talking about Sears.
Yes.
We've talked about, what's a couple other big ones? Toys R Us closed, which is amazing. That's crazy. Toys R Us. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just keep Payless Shoes.
Radio Shack. I mean the list just is bigger and bigger and bigger of the stores that.
So you kind of saw that coming. So good for you.
I did, yeah, and I jumped off that ship as
and was that recently then? So you did that up until like the last few months, or did you do something in between?
I jumped ship from the retail part probably getting close to 10 years now. I've been out of high school about 20 years actually this year. So yeah, I did.
Well, there we go. We got your age already. So
I know, and I just. Anyway.
No worries. I'm 41, so.
Okay. You're older than I am, so we're good.
There you go.
So, yeah, I got into, my mom actually worked for a mortgage company here in town, and I grew up with her working in mortgage, finance, real estate, and I was always curious about it.
Sure.
But I had a different passion when I was younger.
Right.
I didn't really know what I wanted, and two, I liked people, not numbers. Like, that wasn't my thing. Well, when you're ready for a career change, what do? You just, Mom, what do I do?
Right.
Of course, the only child thing. I don't have brothers and sisters to talk to. So she's like, we're looking for somebody at the mortgage company if you want to give it a shot. She's like, but, it's probably going to get in your blood, so just be aware. I said, okay. And I was immediately fell in love with it.
Like hooked.
Hooked. I mean, I had a desk job. I was just the receptionist when I started, and I never sat.
Right.
Like, I was up and running and doing this and doing that, and answering the phone, and every day was different. Every day was stressful, and I couldn't get enough of it.
That's awesome.
How many people thrive in stress? I don't know. I'm one of those
it's a personality trait.
Weird individuals that I'm a tasker. I like to do this, then do this, and then do that. So that flowed so well for me.
Awesome. Yeah, so then you kind of got in. So you're doing that. Did you get take all your tests to become to sell real estate at that point, or?
Well, what I did was I was at the mortgage company for a while, and I loved it. I loved it to the point where I wanted to do more.
Right.
However, when you're good at what you do in one place, sometimes they don't want you to leave
sense,
what you're doing to do something else.
That makes sense.
Then they got to, so I unfortunately left and went to work at a bank here in town in Fargo, and I was able to do more.
Right.
And I was able to learn more and had greater experiences, dabbled a little bit in the consumer side, dealing with some CDs, checking accounts, and that type of thing. But I really liked that mortgage piece of it the best. So I just went back to the mortgage side of it, and I was there for a handful of years. Until I got a phone call one day from the new owner of the mortgage company that said, I want you to come back and I want you to work for me. I said, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
I wouldn't have left had I not wanted more, so absolutely I will come back. So I went back and was there for another handful of years, probably spent a total of 8 years there between the two, roughly. Best years of my life, again, working super hard. My loan officer had really aggressive goals, and it was just me and him. But we worked so well together. We're the same age, and we were more like cousins than boss employee kind of.
Sure.
So it was just a really good environment to be in. And I still had my mom with me, so that
Nice.
was really nice.
That's awesome. And then, so then how long did you do that for? You said about 8 years total, back and forth?
Total back and forth, yeah. And then I took a leap of faith one day, getting pretty burnt out, working many hours a week and just staring at a computer all the time. And I was getting a little worn out. I've got kids at this point, so life is picking up and I need to take off a little load on my shoulders. And I got an opportunity to go work for a real estate developer in town. And that was really incredible to see the residential retail side of things.
Right.
It's like I had been on one side of it, and then I got to flip and be on the other side of it.
That makes sense.
So it was way cool.
That's cool.
I got to meet some of the most amazing people that are very influential here in town.
Cool.
And develop some really good relationships with them. And I loved that probably about my job more than anything, was just solidifying those relationships that were already established prior to me getting there.
Right.
And even taking them to the next level. This is why you need to continue to work with us. Why we will still want to be your number one.
Right.
Even though I'm new to the game, new to this, you're not going to be treated any differently. I'm going to treat you better than what you had before.
Awesome. So what did your day-to-day consist doing that when you're in that type of industry?
Oh my gosh. It was everything from dealing with a homeowner that wants to put up a shed to dealing with plan approvals submitted by a builder, dealing with maybe an upset builder over a lot.
Was it with the city then? Or who was this with then at the
Property
time?
Resources
a
Group.
property resources group?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. That is totally the other side of
It was total
the
flip
spectrum.
side, yeah. And I got to be the assistant for the president as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then just like the knowledge on both sides of then, real estate is
Yes.
it's amazing to have that.
I got to see full spectrum.
Yeah.
And I appreciated both sides
Right.
for completely different reasons.
Yeah, well then you
No.
can see where each other side is kind of coming from. Where
Totally.
before you could be like, why does this exist? Doesn't make any sense. This is like a deterrent for us.
Right.
Well, now when you know the information, a lot of times it's somewhere in the middle. Like it's never as bad as people think it is.
No, it never is. But it was nice to be able to explain to that homeowner that's coming in to buy a lot or whatever it might be, what the end process looks like.
Right.
This is what you're going to have to do after this, and here's the steps you should take to save cost and save money. Talk to this person before you do this. It was so wonderful to have the full spectrum from literally the time they think about having a house until
Till they're in
they
it.
had the keys in the hand.
That's amazing.
So cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you did that, so like 8 years or so. Did you do anything else other than that before you got to Bremer? Like this is a whole career you got already going.
I know it's been
It's
real
amazing.
estate, and then a lot of my prior family from the mortgage company had landed at Bremer.
Awesome.
My mom landed at Bremer, which is kind of funny, and then another coworker of mine who I've known like 20 years. She's now at Bremer, and there were a couple others that had filtered over, and I started to reconnect with them over some outside engagements and, again, building relationships with them. And the private banking manager from Bremer had approached me, and she says, I'm developing a role, and I want you to have it. She's like, you're not afraid to talk to people. You're very much a people person. You know a lot of people in town. She's like, I think this is a wonderful fit for you. And then she just kind of told me everything about Bremer. And it wasn't even the job that sold me.
Yeah.
It was the company. That's what sold me.
Yeah, I'm figuring out Bremer is a little bit different than other financial institutions in town, which is really cool.
We are definitely different.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue into this. If you want to just tell us a little bit about Bremer, or a little bit kind of about what you do on a day-to-day basis. You can give as much or as little detail as you want. Maybe some of the challenges that you face currently as, being new in the private banking industry, some of the things you're coming across. We talked to some of your biggest achievements. If you want to go into any other details on that within basically the scope of your career has been pretty amazing already. And then some of the impacts you guys have on the community. So if you just want to start with some of the stuff, information on Bremer, that'd be great.
Yeah, Bremer, we are really, really big on giving back to the community.
Right.
We're huge. Some of my friends that had other jobs, they got to go be mentors for junior achievement. And I was always so jealous
cool.
of that. I'm like, you get to go teach the young minds of the world
Right.
a lesson and be a role model to them.
And that's totally
incredible.
undervalued. Like, there's some, like, that's so important. And everybody is, like, so busy in their day-to-day stuff that they kind of forget, like, to do things like that.
Right. And Bremer encourages us to do that. So the second I started at Bremer, I'm like, I need to be a mentor with these junior achievement kids. I've done 2 sessions already at different schools, different grades, developed relationships with, first graders and fourth graders.
That's
And
cool.
whether we realize it or not, they really look up to us. We don't want you to go.
Well, the thing is, each one of those kids, like, you don't really know their situation either.
No.
Like, some could maybe not be in a good situation at home.
Yeah.
Some, might not have brothers or sisters, might have a single parent family. Like, a lot of these, you never know, like, the impact that you can have on these kids. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had, when I walked out of my class this last time, I had one of the individuals, and he was a little bit more of one of those we'll call challenging students. He gave me a hug, and he says, I can't wait for you to come watch me play for the Atlanta Falcons. Like, that was his goal, I'm like, you just do whatever you got to do to achieve that Atlanta Falcons dream,
That's awesome.
But he's got goals.
So
He's got
cool.
dreams. I
I
can't
know,
be the
it's
dream
amazing.
crusher and be like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
It could happen.
But how cool.
It's so cool that, like, just having a program like that makes them
Yeah.
think about, having dreams and, like, I mean, that could keep that kid going and stay out of trouble. Like, you never know.
Yeah, they start to think. And then in my mind, I think, what if this kid does make it?
There you go.
What if he does remember me?
Yeah.
And
You never
he
know.
sends me a ticket to this Atlanta Falcons game.
That'd be sick.
Like, that would be incredible.
That'd be an amazing
That would
story.
just be,
Yeah, but I
so
mean, it
huge.
happens. I mean, that's exactly why you build relationships. Like, I mean, just helping out kids is a whole nother deal. We do a couple things like the Sanford Children's Hospital is, like, huge for us. The
We
Cares
did
for
that
Kids.
too. Yeah.
Veracity, we donate every year to do that, get involved in that. My daughter actually was in the NICU for like 6-7 days. So
Oh my gosh.
I got to kind of see that full circle. Like, and it's no joke when they say like, oh, this will never happen to you. I have a 9-month-old right now, so it wasn't too long ago, to be honest with you. But you're never like, oh, my kid's not going to be in the NICU. But then you're in there and you're just like, this place is so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, so fortunate to have this in Fargo, where our doctors were like, if you would have had an at-home birth or been in an undeveloped country, like, your daughter basically wouldn't be here today.
Right.
And that really is like, oh my God, like, this
Yeah.
is, she literally, after birth, she was in NICU in like 6 minutes. Like, they had
Oh
her
my
up there
gosh.
in NICU. Like, now she's full recovery. Everything's great, but just like, what a great, facility to have in town. So for us to give
Yeah.
back in, a different portion of the kids, but like us to donate the Cares for Kids and anything with, involves kids is a big deal.
Yeah, we did, Bremer did the Cares for Kids radiothon as well. I was there with our private mortgage lender. And, we were taking the phone calls in for the donations. And we would always say, thank you for your donation. But it was surprising the number of people that said, no, thank you for volunteering. Because
Yeah,
this
it's
is
huge.
such a great cause.
Yeah.
And there would be children there that are fighting illnesses, and you just feel for the families, and it's such a needed thing.
Yeah, because not all those kids get to go home that are up there. Like, you see these
No.
parents that are in there. Like, our daughter was, like, probably the biggest baby in there. She was actually a week late. She just had some, lung issues or whatever. But
Sure.
a lot of them are born, like, mature. And then you see these families, they basically just live up there. And, I mean, we were just in and out in 6-7 days. But, families are up there for months and months and months. But,
Right.
I mean, and it's one of the easiest things to give back. I mean, you're literally, like, we do a small donation here with Veracity, but, like, they have that 12x20 that's set up so
Yes.
easy, or 20x12 or whatever.
Yes.
Like, how easy? Like,
Totally,
if you literally
yeah.
can't not have, like, 2 Starbucks a month and then just donate to this thing, like, it's literally the easiest thing ever.
Right.
So,
No,
right,
I
we're
agree.
like, both me and my wife are like, yep, we're doing that 20x12. Our company's donating. So,
Yes.
and it's just so fun to give back to the community and give back to kids. And like,
It is,
you never really
absolutely.
know the impact that you make.
No, and that's, I
pretty
think,
amazing.
what I like about giving back so much, and I'm so thankful that Bremer, encourages us to do that, is we don't realize the impact that we have. Whether it's a tangible impact or not doesn't really matter,
Right.
but we're giving up our time, which is the most precious thing any of us have. to give back and to try to do better in the world. And I mean, I think every company in town should encourage the employees to go out and donate and give your time if you can't give money or whatever it might be.
Volunteers. I mean, they don't just need money. Volunteers are a big deal too.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit more into Bremer's. We're actually owned by the Otto Bremer Trust.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's amazing.
I know. It's so cool.
Isn't it like 92 or some percent?
92% of Bremer is owned by a trust.
Yeah.
And the other is the employees.
Yeah.
And
so you guys have some skin in the game, or
we do.
It kind of feels like you're a little more part of the organization.
We are, for sure.
Since you've only been in the role how long have you been as private banking now?
Coming up about 10 months, roughly, yeah.
So what do you think so far some of the biggest challenges you face? You see anything that you're just like, ooh, this isn't something that I kind of saw coming in, or?
No.
Nothing?
No. So it's kind of a weird thing, but I don't think of coming to work every day as coming to work every day.
Well, then you're in the right industry.
Absolutely. The biggest, I'm doing air quotes here, but the biggest challenge for me has just been kind of rebranding myself.
Makes sense.
Right? It's been a challenge. I do know a lot of people in town, but I'm also a fitness instructor in town. So I know a lot of people through that. And
dive into that. I'm going to interrupt you. We'll put a pause here on Bremer.
Okay.
So the fitness instructor, what do you do for fitness?
So I started teaching group fitness classes about 7-8 years ago. I started at Family Wellness shortly after they opened, and I taught body pump there, and I loved it. I love music and, again, the people, building relationships, and I just was super jacked every day that I got to go teach class.
That's cool.
People work out as their time and a stress reliever and things like that.
Yeah, it could be therapy.
But when you're the person teaching and you get to be the one that motivates and inspires, that taps you into a whole nother level.
And plus, when you're when you are the instructor or you're teaching, like you're working harder yourself too, right? Because you have all these people that you're leading, right?
Right.
Or if you're just like doing it yourself, you're like, maybe you're doing push-ups or something. You'd be like, I'm gonna stop. Where you have all these people, you're like, I can do 5 more. I can do 6 more. I mean, your body basically, it's your mind that shuts down.
Absolutely.
It's not your body. I mean, I have I'm not nearly as fit now, but I was in the military back from 96 to 2000. And then, I mean, you put your body through like rigorous activities, and you're just like, I cannot believe it. The things you can do, it is amazing. And you start to learn really quick that it's your mind that shuts down. Like your body can like do a lot. So
it's a mind game. Any workout's a mind game. You just have to learn how to control that.
So you did body pump for 7-8 years. Is that kind of what? Are you still teaching any?
No, I don't do body pump anymore. The owner of Cycle Bar, before it had opened, she had approached me and said, I'm opening a cycling studio, and I want you to teach for me. So a few of us got together. We took a little road trip weekend down in Minneapolis to hit up the nearest studio, and we did 4 classes in 2 days, and I was like, I'm sold. I want to do this.
This is all before Bremer.
This was all before Bremer.
Are you doing something else during that time as well?
I'm working full-time. I'm a mom full-time, and I'm teaching. Yeah. Yes.
People say they don't have time. Look at that.
There's
You're
always
doing
time.
All this stuff, right?
It's all about priorities. But yeah, so I've been at Cycle Bar now for 2.5 years, most recently as the lead instructor there, doing the training, hiring new staff, things like that. Very in-depth there.
So what's like a typical day if you're at Cycle Bar?
Oh boy, that depends.
Or who's your is it any age group? What's it? Is it from any 20? Is it 18 to 50-year-olds, or what do you got for typical age?
You can be a 10-year-old and go in there. That's totally cool. My typical people age range in my classes are probably, I would say, 20 to 60.
Okay.
I've got a whole wider range of people.
How many people per class?
Depending on, I would say 30 to 40. And the studio holds about 47 people.
And is it like an hour deal, or how long do you guys go?
45 minutes in a dark studio, loud music. We sweat it out.
And you just, and is it just different activities like?
So, like, we're rhythmic. So we ride to the beat of
it's all
of a
on
song.
a cycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing it with them.
Cool.
We've got cool lights that happen.
Right.
We've got stat boards. You can race against each other. You can race against rows 1, 2, and 3. So for that competitive person, they
amazing.
get jacked up.
You're burning like some serious calories.
Serious calories.
Like in that 45 minutes is like 500-600 calories, I think?
At least.
Yeah.
For the average person.
Makes sense.
Yes.
That's amazing.
600.
I think I should tell my wife about this.
So yeah, I'll probably see you next week in class.
Sounds good. Book me. No, like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, that's so amazing. 'Cause I have, like, we talked about this a little bit before, or maybe it was during the podcast. I have a human performance and fitness background, which I don't use at all. But I kind of know, like, something like, I know how to get there and I know how to be healthy. And, I mean, doing it is a whole different deal. But that stuff's so intriguing to me. It's awesome.
It's really cool.
So you do that every day. Is it cycle bar every day?
Not every day. I don't teach every single day, but I'm there most days a week.
That's
Whether
so
I'm
cool.
going or taking, it's a huge part of me. I love what it's about. We're very unique. We really encourage the riders to just let go of everything else that they got going on, focus on themselves for just 45 minutes.
Well, especially if you're putting in a lot of work like that, you almost have to, like, forget about other stuff that you're doing because you're focusing on what you're doing at the time, right?
Yes.
Because it's like, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Like, people are just like, oh, cycling. Yeah, no, it's not easy.
It's actually a lot harder than you think it is.
Exactly. Your quad. Oh, my wife would probably crush it. She is an old hockey player, but those
sure.
hockey players have, just tough thighs, man. My thighs are so weak and skinny.
One of my riders is a former soccer player, and her legs are just incredible.
And those people are amazing.
She's just a beast. But yeah.
Cool.
So,
that is amazing. I love that. I'm definitely, I'm going to tell my wife. We should try this out. Let's see how that goes.
You should.
So cool. So you're doing that. You're still doing the cycle bar. And then you're doing the private banking. Yeah. With a couple kids. Married. And you still have time to do other things. It's amazing. People just say they don't have time. That's just one of the biggest excuses of all time. Sleep an hour less and then get up and work out if you want to work out.
Yeah, for sure. I feel so good every morning. As much as I hate that 4:30 a.m. alarm or 5:30 a.m. alarm, whatever it might be, I feel so much more productive when I just get up and get moving.
Right.
If I hit the snooze at 6 and I stay in bed till 6:30, I'm tired the rest of the day.
Yeah, and you just got to do it. Like, just don't think about it. Just get up. And
just do it.
So what time, how much sleep do you get a night? What time do you think you're going to bed? Like 9, 10 o'clock?
Oh, so my son and I have this ritual where we go lay in bed every night around 8:30. And he goes to bed at 9. And when he goes to bed, then Mom goes to bed. So
you're still getting 7.
9:30.
Yeah. So, even say you fall asleep at 10, you're still getting like 6-7 hours, which is probably works for you.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Totally.
I had a cycle there where, this is when I worked in another industry. It's weird for me. Like, it's not like I don't really even, like, I don't need a lot of sleep and I don't really want to go to sleep at night. But once I am sleeping, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to get up, right?
Totally.
But I can function pretty good off of like 5-6 hours, like for a handful of days.
Yes.
And then I need one day where maybe I sleep 7.
Yeah.
But like 6 for me, like even right now, like I go to bed probably at midnight, and because I'm a late, like I'm a night owl.
Oh my goodness.
And then Ellie, our little daughter, wakes up at 6 usually, and then I feed her. So like those 6 hours for me is just like money.
They're the golden hours.
Yes. If I get 6 every day, like I'm happy, which is really weird. I'm fortunate. Some people need more than that. And I've told this story too. It's kind of weird. It all kind of went back to the military. Like, I learned, like, I didn't need a lot of sleep in the military.
Right.
It was crazy. I was literally functioning sometimes off. It's weird. I started this side business while I was in the basic training. It was the weirdest thing. So I'll tell the story again quick because I told it a couple podcasts ago. But I figured out, like I said, I only needed 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, right?
Yeah.
So then what we do is for just training, we'd have a thing called fire guard where we would guard the barracks, just like a training exercise. Like there's not really going to be a fire. But I found out that, hey, if I can take 1 or 2 people's fire guard for $5, that's $10 a day.
Yeah.
And then I got really good at shining boots. So then I would literally go to everybody and be like, hey, if you want your boot shine, leave $5 in the boot and leave it in front of your bunk. So I was making like $50 a day.
Oh my gosh.
And I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours. And then the drill sergeants were like, why is everybody's boots so shiny?
Yeah.
Well, I was doing hundreds of pairs and I was getting like really good at it. So like that's when I developed, I'm like, holy shit, like I don't need a lot of sleep to actually function.
Right.
But you still want to feel good and everybody's different. But
yeah.
That's amazing.
Just It's about prioritizing, and for me, it's a must-have in my day. I've got to work out at some point in the day, and whether it's a hot yoga or a cycling or even to just go outside for a walk for 30 minutes.
Well, it's a stress reliever. It gets the endorphins going. There's like a lot of chemical things that are going on when you work out.
Absolutely,
It's like a huge improvement.
Taking a little bit of time for yourself every day will make you better, which in turn is just going to make you a better mother, better father, better human in general.
Right. So there you go, people. Cycle bar. Do it up.
Yep, I will. Every Monday night at 5:30, you will find me there.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's amazing. That's good information. Actually, this is what the greatest thing about some of these podcasts is literally the information. I get all this free information. This is so great. Like, I've learned so much from every guest, and it's so cool. Plus I can help, promote the small businesses and professionals like you. So
love it.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back a little bit, get back into Bremer then. So we talked about like some of the challenges. Actually, we got around the biggest achievements as well, which, kind of you're talking about the junior achievements. It's amazing.
Love.
And then the impact. So yeah, we talked about a lot of that stuff. How about the outside of Bremer and then the cycle bar? You got any other hobbies? You play golf or anything like that?
I have new golf clubs.
Good for you.
From like last year.
I ask every guest this because I'm a huge golfer and
I got new golf clubs like 2 years ago.
Have you used them yet?
I couldn't even tell you what color they are. I didn't even bust them out last year. I think I maybe did once. I'm a really good driver.
Right.
I can drive a ball 150 plus.
Well, now you're like in this banking industry.
I know, I'm
going to
have to golf.
There's all kinds of scrambles. Like, it'd blow your mind. Well, there was probably some in when you're in real estate, but banking is really like...
That's the big one.
It's the Golf Central.
Yeah,
man.
but I can't do anything on the fairway. I can't use a wood. I can't putt. I can't...
You could probably make a couple putts.
I can do a driver.
That's it?
That's about my goal. I did work out at a Maple River a few years ago. I did. I drove the beer cart one summer every Friday from 1 to 10.
How long ago was that?
That must have been like 3 years ago, roughly.
Was Dave out there then?
He was, yeah.
I'm friends with Dave. Dave's a good dude.
Yeah, Dave's great. And I know his wife, Kelsey.
Cool.
The cutest little girls.
Yeah.
Kelsey and I were former marathon running partners.
Oh, cool.
So it was really fun.
Like, there you go. What a small world, right? Like, everybody... It's
1 degree of separation.
Like 1 degree in Fargo. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. So anything else you got for hobbies, or what else do you do?
Well, I've got
kids?
2 boys, yep.
Are they in sports? Going crazy right now?
They are. We are just wrapping up wrestling season.
Right.
Kind of. We're nearing the end here this weekend. They're 8 and 9. Both state champion wrestlers, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
They've been wrestling about 4 years now, and we're just getting into baseball. So they do wrestling practice one night, baseball the next.
Was your husband a wrestler? He must have
No.
been. No? Really?
No.
So your kids are just into... Did your husband... Was he in any sports or anything?
He did everything but wrestling.
That's crazy.
It was...
And you decided to try him out. They wanted to do wrestling, or how did they get into that?
Kind of crazy. So my oldest son started hanging out with a friend from school, which is cool, right? And I went to pick up the boys one day, and the boy's mom was like, "I'm so sorry, but the boys have been wrestling." I was like, okay. That's fine. Like, am I like, is he bleeding somewhere? Like, what's wrong? I'm like, you're a doctor, you could fix this. But no, nothing was wrong. And then I picked him up again. I'm so sorry, the boys are wrestling again. Like, I don't get...
Why are you telling me this?
Why? Like, it's a big deal. Come to find out that her husband was the wrestling coach at West Fargo High School at the time, and we didn't know it. And, he came and said, "We really think that your boys have something special. They're just naturals in this." And my youngest was barely even able to wrestle at this point. He was like 4.
Right.
But showing some skill set.
Right.
And took the boys to wrestling practice halfway through the season, and they fell in love.
You know what's interesting about that is like this, it's like problem solving too, right? Like you're problem solving while you're wrestling. It's like on the fly problem solving.
Totally. My kids throw
amazing.
cow catchers.
Yeah.
That's their move. And what I've been telling them is like, you have to learn something else.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to learn how to block that.
Well, it's cool now until they get older, right? Like,
well, yeah.
Eventually someone's going to...
But now that, it's starting to see them, their wheels turn on the fly. Right. They go to throw a cow catcher and the kid blocks it. And you see their eyes light up like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? It's like all of a sudden they're figuring out how to do a new move on the fly.
What a cool way to get into a sport, having a friend's parents be a wrestling coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's
know,
pretty
they
cool.
love the baseball and the football, and they've never had hockey skates even on, I don't think. Their passion is wrestling.
That's awesome.
My kids are built kind of like dishwashers. They're just thick and they're shorter
Right.
and just crazy strong.
That's perfect for wrestling.
So wrestling is so good. And my oldest says he's going to go to Arizona State University on a wrestling scholarship to be a teacher. So he's got some pretty,
There you go.
some
I mean,
pretty
you
heavy
gotta have
goals.
Awesome. So wow, between like the Psycho Bar, now the private banking, you got the kids into wrestling, man, you get a few hours of sleep a night. You still got to be a wife, like you got to hang out with friends, like you're basically out of time, right?
No.
No?
What
else
I
you got then?
could probably figure out a few more things to do throughout the day, but I like to give a lot of quality into everything that I do, so I can't spread myself too thin. But anything that involves people for me, I'm all in.
It's the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Well, we'll get to one of our last segments here. We have a thing called the Suck OTD. It's the super unknown question of the day.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's go.
It's 120 confusing questions that'll leave you wondering, is what I call it. So
Okay.
Some of them are questions, I think. Some are jokes. So what I'll do is I'll have you pick a number between 1 and 20.
11.
Is 11 a favorite number? What is that?
No, that was just a
You
random.
just randomly came to your mind?
Yeah, 11 was like the
That's
first
weird.
number to come
You'd
to
be
mind.
surprised. Most people use like a birth date, a favorite number, the day your kids. Is any kid have the 11th as their birthday?
No.
I'm thinking maybe it's just subconscious.
No, mine are both born on the 29th.
Did you
so-
play any sports in high school? Did I ask you that?
I did not.
You did not.
No, I did the dance thing for like
okay.
3 weeks. Just a little hot second, and that was
Gotcha.
about it.
So here you go. This is actually pretty cool. So it's kind of a joke. They're fun. So number 11 is there a time limit on fortune cookie predictions? That's a good point. Like if you just open a do you eat Chinese ever? Or anything?
I don't eat Chinese, but I love fortune cookies.
Fortune cookies. So that's a good point. If you just kept all your fortune cookies, I heard a story where a guy played the numbers on the back of the fortune cookie and won like 100,000 in like a Powerball or something.
I don't think that there should be a time limit on a fortune cookie.
I'm gonna like start keeping all mine.
I
That'd be
think
pretty
they
interesting.
can maybe be something that's going to happen or a prediction in your life. Maybe it's now, maybe it's 5 years from now. I don't know.
So do you think some of that stuff is God, I can't remember the way I want to word it, but do you think if someone reads something from a fortune cookie and then they kind of can themselves make it come true?
Can apply it in their own lives?
Yeah.
It's a
lot of
mindset,
that-
I think.
Yeah. I think a lot of time that stuff happens. Like, it's kind of one of those whole things, like, if you literally see it, you'll believe it.
Absolutely.
You know, like, if you can. It's kind of the opposite. A lot of people be like, hey, I'll believe it when I see it. But if you literally vision something, like, you
Yes.
can make it come true.
If you
pretty
open
cool.
something and it tells you good fortune is headed your way, you're going to watch for it.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the word I was
Yes.
looking for.
Yes.
So that happens more often than not, I think. So that's
gotta
kinda
be a
where
believer.
Right. I totally agree with that. Awesome. So if someone is looking to get a hold of you, basically for any reason, if they want to do the cycling bar, if they want to get in, have questions about, private wealth or private banking.
Yes.
Do you got some contact information for us?
Absolutely. Email is always great. Otherwise, my cell phone, I'm available 24/7. That's also a great option for me too.
Awesome. What do you got for an email, Bri?
It's bnclemenson@bremer.com.
Awesome. And a phone number?
701-212-3017.
Perfect. That's BN Clemenson, CLEMENSON @bremer.com and 701-212-3017. You got anything else for me today, Bri, before we end this bad boy?
I don't think so. This was super fun.
Awesome. Well, but, hey, when we end it, I'll try to get a couple names from you to keep building my list for guests, if you don't mind. That'd be great.
I absolutely will, yes.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Thanks again for listening. Till next time. Peace.
Thank you.
We appreciate you joining us for this episode of the Johnny Miller Audio Experience. You can support the show by supporting your local businesses, especially today's guest. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @Johnny_audio and recommend us to a friend. If they own a local business, even better. We look forward to helping your business get the word out right here on the Johnny Miller Audio Experience.